The best addition to basketball in the past decade has been the influx of great international players, and the 2025 draft has one of the most fascinating international prospects in history. Meet Yang Hansen, a 7'2" center out of China who just made serious noise at the 2025 NBA Draft Combine. He's only 19, but he's already dominating the Chinese Basketball Association and flashing a skill set that's got scouts watching closely. So today, let's break down the film, the hype, and the upside. Is Yang Hansen the next Wemby, or just another Mo Bamba? Let's find out just how good he actually is. The hulking center who suddenly appeared at the scouting combine grew up in the city of Zuba, with a population of around 5 million. He picked up basketball as a child, before starting competitive activities in the 3rd grade, which in the Chinese education system was around the age of 9. A short while later, he enrolled at Zubo Sports School, showing a gift for the game. After a few years of training through primary school, his quickly growing body and solid ability got him noticed by the professional team Qingdao Guoxin Haitian Eagle Club. They presented Yang's family with a detailed plan for both team success and how they would help develop his talent. At just 15 years old, he entered the club's youth training system, playing first on their under-17 team, with whom he went back-to-back as under-17 national champions. In the first of those championships, Yang was awarded Best Defensive Player. In the second, he won MVP, averaging 19 points, 10 rebounds, and 1.3 blocks per game with the Eagles' youth team. His tall, strong frame quickly drew comparisons to Chinese basketball legend Yao Ming, and comparisons were also drawn to superstar Nikola Jokic. These comparisons didn't slow down when Yang led the Chinese under-19 team in the 2023 FIBA U19 World Cup, leading the team in rebounds and showing multiple solid scoring outings. He was named to the tournament's all-second team after China finished 10th thanks to an early bracket matchup against the US and fellow second teamer Tobe Awaka. Yang called the World Cup an amazing learning opportunity and told the press that the experience of playing with and against talented contemporaries gave him a stronger desire to improve his own game. After returning home from the World Cup, Yang had the opportunity to meet Yao Ming, now the president of the CBA, and was asked when he would be headed to the NBA. Chinese media weren't sure whether Yang would actually elect to go to America, with the last Chinese player to be drafted to the States being Zhao Qi from the 2016 draft. Zhao lasted 2 seasons in the NBA before returning to China. However, the quality performances on an international stage, as well as his exceptional development, made Yang a much more appealing prospect, especially in an NBA that's currently looking for more solid big men as answers or parallels to Jokic, Embiid, and Wembanyama. Speaking of Jokic, Yang didn't draw comparisons to the Serbian center for no reason. Both his strengths and weaknesses seem to be in line with Joker's. While obviously a little taller and a good bit leaner, Yang's playmaking and shooting have been praised, as has his ability to nonchalantly dominate using his size. The flip side is the same too, with concerns about Yang's quickness and mobility taking center stage once he started being discussed as an NBA prospect. After the FIBA Under-19 World Cup tournament, Yang was promoted to the first team of the Qingdao Eagles. He's been a full-time starter with them for 2 seasons and has been a great success. In his first season as a full-on pro, Yang started 51 games of the season, almost never missing time, playing almost 34 minutes per game and averaging 15 points, 4 assists, and just under 11 rebounds per game, plus 2.2 blocks. While he struggled with free throws and jump shooting, he showed solid ability, especially for a rookie to the big leagues. With Yang's contributions, the Qingdao Eagles finished the season 31-21, claiming the 7th seed and bringing Yang to the playoffs for the first time in his CBA career. In a first-round series against the Guangzhou Loon Lions, the Eagles couldn't match up, but Yang still flashed brilliantly. In Game 1 of the best-of-3 series, Yang scored 7 points, but accounted for 16 rebounds, all defensive, while adding 4 blocks, 2 steals, and an assist. His 7 turnovers were an eyesore, but he lowered that number to 3 in Game 2, in which he scored 9 and totaled 11 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. The Eagles were swept, but there was plenty to be happy about in their first season with a young star. In this most recent 2024-25 season, Yang showed wild improvement, still never missing a game and improving every aspect of his play. His shooting numbers all spiked, with his field goal percentage going up more than 3% and his free throws jumping up by 5. He raised his blocks per game to 2.6 and averaged a steal per game, but the jump to 16.6 points per game is what really stood out. The Eagles tied for 7th place on the CBA table, advancing to the first round of the playoffs with their 31-15 record. They were bumped to the 8th seed by the Southern Tigers and their head-to-head record, and were matched up with the Zhejiang Golden Bulls. In his return to the postseason, Yang Hansen wasted no time, scoring 17 points with 3 blocks, 2 steals, and 6 rebounds as the Eagles walked to a Game 1 victory. He was, however, limited in Game 2, fouling out of the game after just 25 minutes on the court. He only totaled 2 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 blocks before being ejected, and that lack of production and availability cost the Eagles the game. Game 3 was back home in Shandong, and Yang felt like he needed to bounce back. In the best playoff game of his career, Yang dropped 24 points, tied for the team high, with 11 rebounds for the double-double, as well as 4 blocks. He shot 71% from the field and dominated every inch of the court as he advanced to the quarterfinals for the first time. In round 2, however, the Eagles weren't happy to be the 8th seed, as they were set to face the 1 seed Zhejiang Lions, who had just lost 7 games all season and had a point differential of 11.3 points per game. The Juggernaut Lions took Game 1 easily, although Yang had 14-5-3 with 4 blocks. Game 2 became a shootout, and Yang was lost in the track meet, scoring 10 with 6 rebounds, but fouled out late in the game. Nonetheless, the Eagles took Game 2 to tie the series before Yang started really using his size to bully the Lions in Game 3. His 10 points rang with 11 rebounds and 4 blocks to help hold Zhejiang to just 83 points in a close game to take the series lead. However, the Lions' skill started to shine through. First in a 2-point win to tie the series again, in which Yang went for 14, 4, 4, and 4, then in a 5-point series closer. After a few tough outings, Yang came off the bench in Game 5, but played 36 minutes, dropping 16 and 11. Impressive in what may very well have been his final CBA game. If true, he finished his short career covered in accolades, including back-to-back Warhorse Star Player of the Year awards given to the best young player, and being immediately promoted to the Chinese national basketball team once he was old enough. Moving to the actual game of basketball, Yang has shown himself to be exceptional in the post-game. He's most famous in China for his ability to play back-to-back in a low post, making plays with his length, but he has the framing to be good in the high post, adjusting as needed. He's become famous for his great basketball IQ to complement his body, and is also very good at drawing fouls thanks to his lanky frame. At the 2025 NBA Scouting Combine, Yang stood out among a talented incoming class. He has now largely been accepted as the best prospect out of China since Yao Ming, and that was because of his work at the Combine. His immediate comp was to fellow 7-footer Zach Edey, drafted by the Grizzlies in 2024, with plenty of experience throwing his size around. He scored 12 points and had 2 assists in a scrimmage in front of scouts, showing his great touch around the rim. Once again, his conditioning came into question, but as a developmental big man, all of the tools appeared to be there for him to be a great player after a few years with the best basketball trainers in the world. His shooting still needs work, especially from behind the arc, and he's not used to being asked to show off as an individual, since the Chinese game is more chemistry focused, but that second piece may make him an even better passer once the rest of his game is brought up to speed. And as a side note, he seems like a delight. While he's always appeared pretty serious, he seems very mature and well-rounded. He's been called very self-aware, and his mentality is one of the first things fans will highlight about him along with his height. So as we look to the 2025 draft, which teams might be looking at him, and where could he be drafted? Well, before the Combine, Yang Hansen was on no one's mock drafts, but he has slowly crept up from the dredges of the second round into the late first. He has to contend with a few other centers in the class: Duke's Kaman Malawach, Georgetown's Thomas Sorber, and Joan Berenger out of France. But don't be shocked if he jumps at least one of those guys on draft night. The right fit for Yang is going to be a team that has the time and resources to develop him properly. Don't expect a needy team or one in win now mode to take a swing on him unless he falls back to the second round. That leaves the middle chunk of the NBA to ask if they could use a center with massive upside. Obviously, there are teams with the exact archetype of Yang who won't touch him. Unlike football, where it's nice to have backups who are copies of each other, the Nuggets, 76ers, and Spurs won't be looking for another, more needy version of their superstars. The same goes for teams who recently added big men, like the Grizzlies with Zach Edey, or the Mavericks with Daniel Gafford and Anthony Davis. That leaves a good chunk of teams, so let's go over some of the best possible fits for Yang. First, it would be awesome to see him as a Houston Rocket. While they're picking 10th and definitely won't take him there, they could either trade back up or see if he falls, and have him ready to be a perfect complementary piece for their young core. Ime Udoka is one of the best developers of young talent in basketball, and a tandem of Yang and Sengun at the rim would be a perfect combination of offense and defense. Next is the Hawks, who are clearly in no rush to be great. Clint Capella is set to be a free agent, and while Yang wouldn't be ready to start immediately, they could easily sign a veteran to split time with him. The combination between Yang and Trae Young could be lethal, and they'll be looking at their options with the 22nd overall pick. Finally, the Suns could be the most fun landing spot for Young. With Kevin Durant likely on the way out, there's a retooling coming in Arizona, and they'll likely be looking to build through more traditional means now. With the 29th overall pick, they may need to move up to get Young, but once he's in a room with the playmaking ability of Devin Booker, he should adjust to the American game fast. Phoenix has also been lacking a solid center since losing Yusuf Nurkic, and would profit insanely if they develop Young right. Yang Hansen has earned his nickname of the Mobile Great Wall, and he has the potential to be a solid player in the NBA. He's shown that he's a riser in big moments and has all the intangibles that could make him fit right in. So the question is simply, who will call his name on draft night? And that's my question for you. What do you think of Yang Hansen, and what team do you think should draft him? Drop your thoughts below.